MMORPGs are phenomenal in many ways. They create a world for you to inhabit with friends and enemies alike. New places to explore and marvel at, challenges to overcome, achievements to share, legendary loot to brandish, and levels to grind. But there is a darker side to MMOs too. A deep entangling mass of nefarious and cruelty, mingling of mechanics and subcultures that, okay, this is getting a little too dark and dramatic for this video. This is just a video about the shitty things that exist in MMOs, things that are really just annoying to deal with. Now, of course, this is not going to be universal, and you may love every single one of these things on this list, and if you do, wow. But if you do, that's totally valid. And I want to put that in the beginning here because this is not trying to attack the thing that you love in an MMO, something we're actually going to get to at the end of this list. But this is the list of the things that I find, and that's a lot of you find based on polling, the most annoying in MMORPGs. And hey, you know what? Go ahead, but right now, let's take a moment. Let's pause here a sec. Put down in the comment section right now, what is the most annoying thing to you in an MMORPG? Maybe it'll be on this list. Maybe it won't. It's be interesting to see just how many of them get repeated or not. I may be totally off on this. I think that's enough time for you to get the comment in, right? Number one is going to be inventory management. It is so often the bane of my existence, getting that awesome piece of loot only to find out you have no room. Filling up on crafting resources, then realizing your character can barely freaking move because that one little extra piece of twine actually means you are now part of the ground. You fucking live here now. This is your life. You are encumbered. Encumbrance and inventory spaces are enough to send me into a rage faster than the game of Sisyphus or Jump King. You can get lucky with the barrels, or you can get very unlucky with the barrels. Because if it goes off the side, that's when it jumps forward a lot. But there is actually a nefarious part of this, one that really is the entire reason why this is on this list in this position. Because game developers have realized just how important inventory management is and how it can be monetized. Inventory space is important. It's important to balance the game. Limitations are one of the things that make the world feel real and a bit less gamified. It makes those items feel valuable. But the dark side of that is that game developers and publishers have found out that this is kind of a moderate pain point to encourage microtransactions. From free-to-play games to box and sub games, additional inventory space is often purchasable via extra slots or extra bags, or in some cases, even entire hidden inventories locked behind optional subscriptions that actually probably aren't that optional. This is one of those things where it's pretty ubiquitous, and if you think of a game that has any kind of microtransactions, any kind of shop, it probably has the ability to purchase some form of extra bag space or extra inventory space because it works. Now, number two is an interesting one. You know, when you go to work each day, you have a set of tasks you need to complete. The same tasks that repeat over and over in perpetuity until you retire or die. Well, what if you could take that wonderful experience and put it in the game that you play? Introducing dailies and login bonuses, because we need you to log in because our shareholders care how many daily logins we have, and that's all they look at. It's a treadmill cycle, one that makes you constantly feel like every day you didn't log into the game and complete a set amount of tasks, you were falling behind. It is the daily quest, the weekly bonus, the login bonus, battle passes, etc. All the way MMOs have found to manufacture your daily login to get prettier numbers to show their investors rather than actually encourage organic engagement with the game by, I don't know, making the game fun. Essentially, dailies are just repetitive tasks or simple login bonuses that are there to really give you FOMO to encourage you to get in the game, even for just a couple minutes, and hope that you stay a little, at least long enough for them to get their metrics. The problem with most of these tends to be that they aren't actually engaging in any way. They aren't actually engaging with the game as much as they're trying to just provide you with a minute dopamine hit while simultaneously playing on your FOMO to get you to log in. All of this for me comes under a simple umbrella term: manufactured engagement. They're things you don't necessarily do because they're fun, but because you feel like you have to do them, or you'll miss out if you don't. And I think of them as kind of like a plague on MMOs, and when I see a daily login bonus, I gag a little bit, because why? Why is the game just not fun and makes me want to log in because I like the game? Why do I feel the need to get a reward to log into your game? Is your game that bad that you have to reward me simply for logging the fuck in? It's not great. Because we haven't been so far, let's get a little bit contentious with our number 3. Food and drink. I say this is contentious, but I think it's one that might be the most liked out of all of these for several people, especially those who like to craft. Food and drink consumption kind of goes hand in hand, after all, with a lot of cooking or things like that are other types of crafting ways that a lot of MMOs tend to put in. The thing is that I well remember the days of EverQuest when not having a drink meant your mana stopped regenerating. I played my fair share of MMOs that rely heavily on food and drink mechanics as being some sort of negative reinforcer. If you have it, you're at baseline. If you don't, you get negatives. A lot of games now, though, tend to treat them more like consumables that give you bonuses, a positive reinforcer, or perhaps they have both. There's a positive reinforcement as well as a negative reinforcement. For me, it's just another thing among a million others to micromanage and to take up a spot in my limited inventory, which I just spent $2.99 to expand. But for others, it's an integral part of the game. So for this one, I really want to ask you, what do you think of food and drink in MMOs? Should it exist? If it does it need to be punitive, beneficial, or both? I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because as we move on to the last nightmares on this list, I think we'll get pretty much near universal agreement that this shit sucks. If there's one single thing that all of us can relate to when playing an MMO, it's it's having constant lagging in the game, the fire, because then makes it so that you do more DPS. Seriously though, lag can come from different causes, whether it's latency issues due to internet or servers where the MMO is hosted, or just because you're trying to play the next big MMO on your ancient PC and the FPS has dropped into the negative. You know when the lag is so bad that it starts freaking going backwards. I think this one is pretty unanimously hated. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone is gonna come in here and defend like, hey, you know what, lag is awesome. I love it. It's fantastic. I guess, I mean, unless like the one thing I can think of is people that like when they're in PvP and someone else is lagging. But that's a really weird take. This next one though, there might be a little bit more debate. So I've got this deal for you. How about you can play the MMO for free? Totally free. And hey, you know what? What if you got increased experience if you paid $10.99 a month? Optionally. Totally optional. Oh, and we can add, and this is exclusive and it's going away very, very soon. But what if we gave you an exclusive mount skin that has sparkles and wings, and only like 100,000 people are going to be able to get this? And so I'm just telling you, just so that you get the opportunity to. $25. That's it. That's it. That's it. Just one-time offer. $25. Sparkly Pony. You'll be in the exclusive club that has it. Basically, fuck microtransactions. And I think it's something many of you agree with because that was the #1 result of this poll. Unfortunately, it is also one of the things that I do not think is ever going to go away. I believe we are now past that point. I did a whole freaking video on it, so I won't go into it here. But yeah, I think we've lost the war against microtransactions quite some time ago. But now that I've got some of your goodwill, I want to do a bonus, a sixth thing to talk about that is annoying in MMOs. MMOs began as social endeavors, putting players together in areas that caused social friction, whether that was in PvP where you were directly competing, or PvE with more indirect competition. It can lead to beautiful friendships that last for years and years. It can bring about incredible feelings of achievement when your guild or group accomplishes something difficult together, sharing in the achievement and the spoils of victory. But it can also end up toxic. It can end up with players griefing each other, players attacking each other, bullying, or just being freaking assholes. You don't have to be. You can just be nice to each other. Toxic communities can spoil even the best MMO. And it's essentially something that we, as the MMO community, are kind of responsible for. The tone and tenor of the community is on us. Not only how we interact with each other, but how we react to other interactions. So if I could ask for just one thing for this is maybe just consider being a little kinder the next time you have an interaction with someone in an MMO. Being a little more generous, being a little more, understanding of others, and maybe just helping a bit more. Cheering someone on rather than putting them down. Because remember, gaming is for everyone. Literally everyone. Except shareholders and CEOs. Except them, because I don't give a fuck what shareholders think about games, because they keep just laying off every fucking studio that's making a decent game at the moment. For I don't know, some stupid reason that they can't even articulate. Those community that they can just go play stocks. They can watch the line go up and down. That's their MMO. Enjoy that. Have fun with that. Do PvP in there. Just leave the game companies alone and stop freaking laying off game devs. Just stop. It's enough. We're done. Let them create art, please. But on a brighter note, if you're looking for something to play, I have a not top 10 list of MMOs for you that may have at least one that you don't know about yet. So go check that out if you want to try and find your next MMO to spend a little bit of time in. My name is Redbeard Flynn. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.